Merry Christmas everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a quick recap of the latest financial news to wrap up the year. Hope you enjoy this video and here's wishing for a Santa rally in the final week of the year. A lot has happened in the last quarter of 2021. Market conditions have been changing rapidly and a lot of it is driven by the single biggest external factor most of us have ever seen. You guessed it, the pandemic. Inflation has risen to 6.8%, levels that have not been seen for about 3 decades, based on the immense spending that Congress authorized in the form of stimulus. To combat this high inflation, the Fed has recently switched to a hawkish monetary policy. This basically means two things. The first is that the Fed is expecting to increase interest rates in 2020. Most Fed officials think there will be 3 interest rates in just 2022. And second, the Fed also expects to finish their taper by spring of 2022, which means that they intend to return their bond purchases program to pre-pandemic normal levels. There are 2 main reasons behind this. The first one, unemployment is at 4.2% right now, which is pretty low. In fact, it's pretty close to maximum employment. Now remember, maximum employment does not mean 0% unemployment. In fact, the US expects to have an unemployment rate of 2 to 5% at all times. Maximum employment means that the labor pool available in the United States is being utilized in the most efficient manner possible. So, unemployment is low. And the second reason is that the consumer prices are sky high right now and the Fed is facing pressure to bring the cost of everyday items down. Now, this is actually the dual mandate of the Fed. The first one is to maintain maximum employment and the second one is to keep the prices of everyday items steady. So obviously the Fed is behaving in this manner to try and meet its dual mandate. Now, I hope the Fed is correct on the timing and also the pressure on the brakes that they apply on the economy. Otherwise, they risk pushing the country into a recession. Talking about stimulus, the latest stimulus bill, the Build Back Better bill, was killed by Senator Joe Manchin just last week. This was a bill that had started out as a more than $3 trillion bill, but had been whittled down through negotiations over the last few months to about a $1.7 trillion bill. Finally, last week, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia said that he cannot justify the excessive spending to his constituents, and so he will not back it. This effectively killed the bill since Democrats only have a simple majority in the Senate right now, and that too with using VP Harris's vote as the tiebreaker vote. So with Manchin backing out, this bill is essentially dead right now. Since this news broke, President Biden has been out there signaling that the bill might not be dead after all and that there might be some more negotiating left to do. With all that being said, I don't think that there will be any significant movement, and by that I mean passage of the bill in the Senate, till at least February. Here are some of the things that I have been watching for in the BBB bill and I will continue to watch out for in the new BBB bill or in other legislation that comes next. First, extension of the child tax credit. The tax code allows for a tax credit of $200 per month per child to parents. And the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the last stimulus bill, had increased this amount to $300 per month and made it fully refundable, but only till December of 2021, which is ending right now. This is a very popular move with parents and was widely expected to be included and passed in the BBB bill. And I do expect that this will get passed either in the new BBB bill or in some other future legislation. Second, tax increases. In a previous version of this bill, there have been provisions to increase the marginal tax rate of high-income individuals. There were also provisions to tax unrealized capital gains, also for high-income individuals. This is something that I'm keeping a close eye on. Currently, in the tax code, unrealized capital gains are not taxable. But if this changes in the future, this will be a new form of taxation, and I'm curious to see how people will deal with this. In fact, there is speculation that this is one of the reasons that ultra-wealthy Americans have been selling stock a lot this year to the tune of billions of dollars to lock in their profits before any form of this new taxation comes into play in the next year. Number 3, support for EVs and EV infrastructure. There was funding earmarked in the BBB bill for building out America's EV infrastructure and also to give tax credits to people who purchase EVs. Let's see what, if anything, makes into the final bill. Of course, if you ask Elon Musk, he thinks it's all useless.
I would say, honestly, I would just can this whole bill. Don't pass it. That's my recommendation.
Moving back to talking about the pandemic, the Omicron variant has been with us for about a month now. Of course, this has caused a lot of uncertainty and consequently a lot of pain in the stock markets. Lockdowns are back, countries are shutting down their borders, and people are modifying or canceling their holiday plans. Now we're getting news out of South Africa that the variant is not as bad as initially thought to be. In fact, even here in America, the current understanding is that the Omicron variant will cause much milder disease, at least in vaccinated individuals. This has been cause for some hope and optimism in the stock market, and the stock market has ended up in the green for the last 3 trading sessions. Maybe a Santa rally will happen after all in the last week of this year. Another big piece of news that broke just this week is the further delay in student loan repayments. Federal student loan repayments have been on pause for nearly 2 years now. President Biden has been facing calls of forgiving student debt altogether, but there has not been any real movement on that front. While he was campaigning, Biden said that he would support forgiving up to $10,000 in student loan debt. But some other lawmakers have called for $50,000 to be forgiven, and yet other lawmakers like AOC have been calling for all student debt, all federal student debt, to be forgiven completely. Although this has not happened, the pause in student loan payments has been extended further. They were supposed to start on February 1st, but now they will resume on May 1st. Okay, now that we've gone through some of the major financial news, let me tell you what I think is going to happen in 2022. My predictions. First up, I think we're finally going to see inflation flatten out by mid to late 2022. The Fed is going to increase interest rates and turn back their easy money policies, which should push the inflation rate down towards the later half of 2022. Next, I think some version of the BBB bill will get passed, or at least some of the biggest ticket items will get included in some future legislation in some form or another. I think support for EVs is definitely coming, and also some more general infrastructure spending. I'm skeptical that a lot of tax increases will go in, especially taxation of unrealized capital gains. Another thing that was on the chopping block previously is the backdoor Roth IRA, which I'm really hoping survives. As to student debt forgiveness, I am highly skeptical that this will occur. I think there's a small chance that there will be student loan forgiveness for up to $10,000, but no more. Of course, if Congress wanted to do this, they could pass highly specific targeted legislation to forgive all federal student loan debt, but I think this is very unlikely. So that's a wrap, you guys. Here's hoping to a good last week in the market so that we can all end a year in the green and have a fantastic new year. Please go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to this channel, and also click the bell icon to be notified instantly when I post a new video. I post every week and I would love to see you back here on this channel. Also go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas.